guys, making progress on the Corellian Corvette. I had put all the kit parts on, so I had to channel out some of this area in here to get these pieces to fit. And there's some cannons on the front, some pipes that I added in the back, which is just styrene tubing of various diameter. I added a plate here for the radar dish to go after I got all my wiring secured, and that's in there. I added some spotlights on the sides, top and bottom, which actually will project light out this way to port and starboard versus forward. I didn't like the look of the forward looking lights, so I got all that done. All the back detail is done. I added a piece of strip styrene here to cover, there wasn't a seam there, there was just a part that wasn't clean, so I put that on. What else? All my power is run, so I managed to run power to my spotlights. I just drilled a hole and kind of ran a wire up front, which will go to the cockpit lighting. So everything will join up with that and light up all at once. So I don't have any blinking lights on this yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to put any or not. You can see this is black. I actually light block these pieces because they're resin. So when I turn the lights on, they will, the light was shining through, so I didn't like it, so I can't have that. So I used, I'll show you in a minute what I used to light block. I'm going to see if I can turn these things on so you can see what they look like. So I'd have to turn the light down to see, to get, I'll show you later what the effect looks like, but you're getting light projecting out here on the top and bottom, which I think will project onto the antennas that I have coming out of the sides, which look pretty cool. To light block these, they still need another coat. So some guys use this stuff. This is tulip. This is actually a fabric paint that I am not very fond of, that I just have around because I heard people use it for light blocking. But I bought this stuff, which is it's a heavy-bodied acrylic, which is really, really good for light blocking. This stuff is heavy. You can dilute it if you want with water. Since it's an acrylic, you can use right out of the bottle. It's really thick. So what that will do is it will light block your parts with one coat normally. You could thin it in case you don't want to fill in detail with it, so you can thin it with water, but it adheres much better to resin and to styrene than this stuff, which is a fabric paint, which I had a hard time with, and again, I don't like it, so you can buy it if you want, but this whole thing, which is a quart, cost me like $9 on Amazon, which is enough for a lifetime. So I used that to light block the resin spotlights. Like I said, I'm going to have to hit them again. These I haven't even hit yet because I have to fill in some gaps here on the bottom due to this part. I added a strip here, which I created to cover that part, which was a seam here. It didn't look clean, so I made a part to go here. It's looking pretty good. I'm working on the base, and I'll show you that next time. But right now, what I'm going to do is fill in so there's a lot of seams. You can see here, there's a seam here with a, which is a product of the resin pieces not fitting perfectly together, right? So you have a bunch of seams. There's some seams in here, all along here. You can see a bunch of seams in there. So all I'm going to do to fill all that stuff in is I'm going to use, let's see, I'm going to use canopy glue. This is some stuff I get off Amazon, and I'm going to use this. It's Formula 560 something. Formula 560, I think. And I'm going to put this into this little sort of syringe here that I use. I have like a bunch of these things, and you just put it in and you kind of fill in all the crevices and cracks. It will dry level, it's paintable, and it will fill in all your seams. So that's what I'm going to do next, and I'll show you what it looks like when that's all done. So all I'm going to do is put this stuff, you can clean this stuff up with water. I'm just going to put a little at a time in here. And I'm going to use a Q-tip to clean up excess, because if you have excess around when you start filling in these seams, you're going to kind of see it. So you want to clean this stuff up really well. Let's start here. I'm just going to put this stuff here. I'm just going around here real light with this stuff. And I'm just going to kind of fill in that seam that's around that dish base. So that's filled in. And I'm going to take a Q-tip and I'm just going to some water. I'll just put a Q-tip in some water, and I'm just going to kind of go around, and I'm going to pick up all the excess of that canopy glue. It's also going to fill in the seam a little better. Stuff dries pretty fast, and then you can paint it. So that's all. That's actually filled in. That's that little seam that was around that piece is all filled in, and it will level, so you can let it dry and then paint it. You can't fill in huge gaps with this stuff, but you can fill in you know, the smaller ones. It may take a couple of shots to get it filled in, but it's easier than using putty. But the only problem is you can't sand it. So you have to make sure you clean up all your excess, because you're not going to be able to sand it later. So now I'm going to kind of go around this piece here. Yeah, you get the idea. I'm going to do this for a while and fill in all of my little gaps that I see around. I'm kind of just putting my palm on the plunger of this thing and just kind of working it out, and then taking it back in when I'm not using it, because it will all run out. So I'm taking my glove and I'm kind of just going around this and cleaning it all up. So you can see that whole area is filled in. It's not a huge deal if you don't get it all the first time. You can let it dry and then hit it again. It's one of the best things I've found filling in seams. So there we go. Got 2 of them filled in. So I'll keep working on this. I'll show you what it looks like when it's at the next stage of build. Right now it's looking pretty good. I think all I have to do right now is put the cockpit on. After I get all my seams filled in, I'm going to prime this and see how it looks. And then if there's still some seams left, I'll go back, I'll fix those, I'll prime it again, and see what we're left with. And the last thing I have to do is put the cockpit on, and all the rest of the pieces should fall into place. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next part.
Uncle Owen!
Yeah?
This R2 unit has a bad motivator, look!
Hey, what are you trying to push on us?